What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. And here recently, there's been a massive leak of information from out of the Pentagon. And it's alleged that the United States is spying on its enemies as well as its allies. Am I surprised at that? Absolutely not. Because today's allies can be tomorrow's enemies. Let me say that one more time. Today's allies can become tomorrow's enemies. How do we know that? Because the United States was once allies with Iraq. How do we know that? Because the United States was once allies with Afghanistan. During the Afghanistan and Russian war, during the Iraq and Iran war, they were allies with Iraq. So we know that tomorrow and into the future things can change. Now, I've covered these things before. And we're going to go over this clip and see exactly what they're saying in this video. See if we can't read in between the lines and get to the bottom of some of these things and see if we can't put a little bit of Sports, Life, and Politics TV juice and sauce all over this shit.
U.S. officials are still investigating how dozens of classified intelligence documents ended up on the internet. Documents appear to contain tactical information on the war in Ukraine and suggest the U.S. has been spying on some of its international allies. According to the Pentagon, the online leaks represent a very serious risk to national security.
And like they said, the DOJ, Department of Justice, investigating the leak. It appears to detail information on war in Ukraine, suggests U.S. is spying on some of its international allies. That's plainly obvious. Are the international allies shocked or surprised that the United States is spying on them? Absolutely not. What they don't want is for it to be publicly leaked.
Catherine Herridge has details from the Pentagon.
Tonight, Pentagon officials are scrambling to identify the source of leaked documents apparently meant for senior decision makers like the Joint Chiefs. Pages seem drawn from secret military briefing books, including CIA updates.
Afternoon, everybody.
Not even the White House can say if the crisis is contained.
We don't know. We truly don't know.
Well, obviously, this is very detrimental.
Republican Congressman Mike Turner, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, was briefed earlier today.
We don't know what else might be coming or what else they have access to. That's why it's so important to find the source and to close down this source.
For the first time since the documents were identified on a popular gaming platform, the Pentagon is acknowledging the stakes.
In some cases, to contain sensitive and highly classified material.
With the spring offensive...
Now, taking this on face value that everything the Pentagon is saying is true, that there was a massive leak. Obviously, there was a leak, but we don't know if they leaked it on purpose. But let's take it as truth that this was some kind of hacking and that this was leaked. This is a small disaster for the Pentagon. Obviously, these things happen within major superpower governments, but the United States, this is the last thing they want. This is what you don't need, and this should never happen. Not especially where you all this information is spilling out about you spying on your allies. You just can't have that.
Approaching, the documents apparently revealing Ukraine's reported need for new munitions, so acute its air defense could crumble. And indications a former intel official says the U.S. and others may be keeping tabs on President Zelensky's conversations.
They said they may be keeping tabs. Are you kidding me? 100% they're keeping tabs. They're giving them $1 trillion. Anybody who gives you that much money is going to keep tabs on you. That's like if a record label, you're a rapper and a record label gives you $10 million or $5 million, $1 million. They're going to keep tabs on you and see what the hell you're doing. They might have somebody following you. They might have your phone hacked. But trillions of dollars, you know what they're doing. Come on now.
Who or what benefits from the leaked documents?
Well, I think the Russians do for sure.
H.R. McMaster, a former national security advisor, told CBS News the apparent mix of authentic and doctored records looks like information warfare.
Where you have elements of truth that then are combined with false information for propaganda purposes.
And I've said this before in other videos, the United States has the biggest and best propaganda machine on the planet Earth. Now, what information are they alleging that is doctored or that there have been, that they've actually changed? I think what they're trying to insinuate that the information that's doctored that is being changed is the information that America is spying on its allies, which we know is a goddamn lie. They know damn well they're spying on their allies.
Another document suggests Russian intelligence is compromised, apparently revealing plans to strike Ukrainian forces at a specific location and time.
Russian intelligence is compromised. Now, the reason why I stopped the video right there, because I want to go back to my video. Now take a look at this. I made this video on when the United States Reaper drone was shot down over the Black Sea. Let's take a look at this. Russia had a drone. Let's take a look at this. This video is from 3 weeks ago. That's why I say this is the best news channel on YouTube. You get information ahead of the curve. Listen to what I said 3 weeks ago. On over Lake Michigan. And Russia said it was in international waters. That's bullshit. That's why when you watch this video, you hear them say they tried to wipe all the data clean. Ain't no telling what the fuck they're picking up on these drones. These drones have all type of technology. And I just told you I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have Vladimir Putin personal shit hacked. And you would never want them to know exactly. See, Russia and China know what you hack. They know you hack it. But sometimes they don't, a certain country might not know the depths of which you're hacking. God damn it. I said that 3 weeks ago. Now let's go back to this video and we'll see what they just said.
And time.
Listen, look.
Propaganda purposes.
Another document suggests Russian intelligence is compromised.
And I just told you that 3 weeks ago. The Russians, they are probably completely hacked. They probably don't even know the depths. But now they do. Russian intelligence is compromised. This is huge because now you got to move. The Russians will start moving different. Once I know you hacking me, everything I'm doing has to change. How I'm calling, how I'm talking, everything, the communication lines I'm using, all that shit changes now. The United States don't want that because now I got to find a new way and see what else you're doing and how are you transferring information from one place. You don't want that. You don't want them to know the depths of which you're hacking.
Apparently revealing plans to strike Ukrainian forces at a specific location and time.
They've shown the extent to which the United States and Ukraine are aware of what Russia's doing.
And Catherine Herridge joins me now from the Pentagon. Catherine, what will the damage assessment by the U.S. intelligence agencies reveal? How are the documents different, say, from past breaches?
It's a great question, John. An intelligence assessment and a damage assessment will look at the actual and potential national security damage, more specifically, whether sources and methods have been compromised. What makes this leak really stand out to me, having worked in this area for 2 decades, is that you have records that are authentic coupled with records that have been doctored. So it looks like it's sort of a new...
Didn't I just say that shit? What they want to allege, what has been doctored in these documents is that they're spying on their allies, which is South Korea, and then they show Israel, because obviously in the documents it was South Korea, Israel, probably some European countries, and they don't want them to know. They don't want them to know that. But these countries, I would imagine, or like I said, already knows that. They just don't want it to be known publicly. That's like if you and your wife have an agreement that you can go sleep around here and there once or twice a year. She don't want the world to know that you allow that, but they would have to assume this, but they probably don't know the depths in which the United States is spying and listening to everything. Your personal phone calls with your wife, your kids, and just all your intelligence information between your generals, and they know everything, man. They hacking your emails, everything is completely hacked, allegedly, by the United States of America. It's reportedly suggests that it's spying on international allies, including South Korea and Israel. Seems to reveal info about war effort in Ukraine.
Information warfare, John.
And presumably they'll try to develop some understanding by looking at how the doctoring was done to understand kind of what the intent was. Is that...
Exactly.
And
exactly. That very astute. That's exactly what they're going to look at. Because when you talk to former national security officials, what they told us today is that just on its face, it does look like Russia and some of our key adversaries benefit from the leaking of these documents. And more importantly, it also gives them a window into the kind of intelligence we've been able to gather within Russia itself. So it gives them an opportunity to try and shut down the sources of leaks on their end.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? And didn't I tell you that 3 weeks ago? And I actually said it in another video like 7 or 8 months ago. And I said it in another video a year ago. United States completely have these people hacked, but they don't know the depths. Once you find out the depths, that's devastating, because now they don't have no choice but to change all of their communication. Now you have to go all the way back around and get all the same intelligence you had before. That's if you can. Because you can always have person-to-person intelligence, which is a lot harder. See, when they communicating via cell phone, satellite, email, computer, all these different ways that they communicate, once you shut all that shit down and we go ear to ear, that shit's a lot harder, man. It's damn near impossible. So this is a huge gaffe by the United States military and the Pentagon.
What about allies, U.S. allies? What's the impact going to be on the relationship with the allies? Because they're included in this information as well.
You know, critics are going to say it's just another example.
And you can see he kind of sniggled and giggled about that. What are the allies going to say? Let's watch him again. Body language is everything. Let's watch him one more time.
What about allies, U.S. allies? What's the impact going to be on the relationship?
As you can see, he kind of laughs like, what about the allies? Because we know we spying on the enemy, but we don't want the allies, and the allies don't want the world to know that what the hell's going on. And because even if you spy, you would hope you would keep it militarily, but no, they spying on everything. Like I said, personal phone calls, your kids' phone calls, everything.
With the allies, because they're included in this information as well.
You know, critics are going to say it's just another example of how the U.S. can't be trusted with their secrets. You know from working in this area that a lot of these intelligence assessments draw information from what they call the Five Eyes, which is this coalition of nations, including the U.S., Great Britain, Canada, and others. Having looked at some of these slides, what stands out to me is that it does appear to be a lot of aerial imagery, and so much of this is commercially available. I'm not so certain that very sensitive sources and methods were in fact compromised here.
Catherine, finally, what's the early betting? Does it look like it's a foreign intelligence service, or could it just be a mischief maker from who happens to...
Well, I will say this. The United States, at this point, already knows who it is. It doesn't take long now, because these computers leave all type of trails and tails, and they'll get to the bottom of this shit extremely fast. Whatever information them people know or knew and who else they gave it to, they will gather them people up. They will take them to off sites out of the United States of America. Will there be some torture? Allegedly. Will there be some waterboarding? Allegedly. But they will get to the bottom of where this leak came from. There's no doubt about that.
Live in an adversarial country?
That's a question, John, that we were asking the head of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner. He had a briefing today, and he wouldn't be sort of swayed either way, but he did tip his hand by telling us that there does appear to be a very good forensic trail, which I thought was code for they'll get to the individual or individuals fairly quickly.
Fact.
But, I just want to go over those clips right quick, you guys, and let you know. Sports Life and Politics TV, man, I'm ahead of the curve. I'm already figuring this shit out. I figured this shit out a long time ago. I could have been doing the news. I don't know why I wasn't doing it a long time ago, but I wasn't. But now I got all of this stuff and information on record now. Now I can go back into an archive and say, see, I told you. See, I told you. And I can do that every day almost, because I've recorded so much information now. But goddamn it, I'm here to toot my own horn today. Because the United States has everything hacked. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. This has been Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel. I'm here for the news. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on a United States spy propaganda ride. Peace.